a great talk around grief and relationships and friends. Because he's had like 40 some deaths in the last couple of years. And so I do a grief recovery class here this year.
Yeah. So it gives you like an experience.
It couldn't hurt.
No, it doesn't. No, it's not sad. I make it fun. Hey, Miss Diana Lee. Thank you, my dear. I appreciate you.
Did you get it handed in?
Yeah. Oh, we're members. It's official.
We're members.
Well, you will be.
Well, no, we're not yet. We went there yesterday.
Yeah.
And we were gonna, to see, just to check the menu. We didn't stay. We just looked at the menu. We sat down, dinner. I think it was
Because
4.
there was a wedding going on in the restaurant. So you had to eat
Oh, you got stuck in the lodge room.
Yeah, they were having a wedding.
Hall.
So we were in the bingo. Yeah, the bingo.
Hi, you.
We didn't like the menu. We played bingo 2 weeks before. No, 2 weeks before. You remember?
We should did better at the casino.
I did. I know.
We have a board meeting out here today.
Oh, yeah, it was really good. This is Ed. Hi, Ed. I'm Terry.
Terry.
Nice to meet you. It's his first time.
It's Jay, just like you break your neck. Sorry.
I made it here.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I was right.
Oh my God, she hit me too hard last because my ribs, I ripped the muscle. It's like, stop it!
Really?
I know, it hurts so bad.
Oh, really?
But she pushed in.
Yeah, I love her. Hey, Betty. Good morning. Yes.
Those mom came both of
I know her hair.
I know, good.
She was starting to have some and I'm fine on my left side.
No, I didn't see anything. I said,
Probably like fell right down.
We were there.
Oh, it's for her and Don?
It's probably led to
That's what I think. No.
It's funny. I've been feeling good, you know, up until.
The hardest part.
That's my car.
Like, okay, thanks for reminding me.
All right, may I embarrass you and say you're going to be live on social media? No, going forward.
Yes.
I noticed that.
That's Sue's.
Oh, it is?
Oh, nice.
I thought it looked
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
We have some first-time visitors. We have Ed right here in the third row.
Hi, Ed.
And over to his right is Sydney and Michael.
Sydney, hi, Michael.
We're up from Phoenix with Sue, and Sydney will be taking over our social media stuff.
Cool.
We welcome everybody.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
We welcome the cooler weather.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, I'll probably get sick and tired of hearing me say that, but that's where I'm at in life. All right. I think it's time that we get on our feet
Okay.
and kick this celebration off.
Yeah.
You guys have been a little quiet lately, so let's hear it.
See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah.
Turn and tell someone you look marvelous.
Marvelous.
It's so good to have you here. Really good to see you.
Good morning. Good morning.
You're marvelous, Ed. Here we go.
See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Hey, hey, hey.
Y'all seeing the light in everyone you meet?
We do.
Even you.
Even me.
Even you.
I try really hard to see the light in everyone I meet. I'm not 100% successful all the time, but I give it my best shot.
Some days easier than others.
Some days are easier than others.
It's easier in this room.
All right.
Absolutely easier.
Do we have a reader today?
No.
Someone took all my books away, man.
Here, I have mine here. I got you. That was great. Where's my, oh my, it's up here. We can read Murphy in Char's honor.
Yes.
Hey,
Murphy.
Yeah. I know you're in here somewhere, Murphy.
Do you need a reader? Yeah.
Yes. Char.
All right. It seems awkward for me. Char is the one that always reads this. So I'll see if I can
Bark
Do
it
it
out.
justice.
do it justice.
Be a dog.
Of course
Come
you
on.
can.
Yeah, channel your inner Char.
This is called Murphy's Dogma. Pause with perspective. Dear friends, I can't sing or play the harmonica. I would like to read books, but only a few very smart poodles can do that. Octopuses and chameleons can change their color. I can change mine if I roll in the mud. But nobody is very happy when I do. Every day, I hear people putting themselves down because of the things they say they can't do. The sad thing is, most people don't give themselves nearly enough credit for the things they can do. When I am really excited, my tail wags my entire body. My ears automatically point in the direction of food being unwrapped anywhere within a block from my house. I can hear you thinking about taking me for a walk long before you begin looking for my leash. These are just a few of the many special things I can do. There are unique things about you that you may not notice or that you take for granted. I think it's time for you to take your personal gift inventory. If you think you don't have any gifts, you are mistaken and missing out on half the joy of living. I would love for you to email me a list of what you consider to be your most valuable and important gifts. Writing them down and sending them to me or someone else could be an important first step, and in coming to enjoy and appreciate the extraordinary person I know you are. And so it is.
And so it is.
So it is.
All right. It's time to go into I am love, I am light, and from there, opening invocation. I am love, I am light, I am the radiance of spirit shining. as we gather in this room, in this sanctuary, I invite you to simply let go and take a slow walk to that sacred sanctuary at the center of your being. And allow yourself to understand that when one door closes, another one opens. Another one opens for greater opportunity. That's what happens each morning as we open our eyes. Opportunity. Opportunity for us to sit up and say yes to life. To not look at the past, but to get in the moment. To say thank you for the abundance of blessings that move in and around us, and understand that we have the ability to create our reality each day, each moment. To make a choice on how we accept what is taking place. To understand that we can make it through the challenging times with grace, with perseverance. We put our mindset forward. And we know within that sacred sanctuary, within each one of us, lies the tools to create heaven on earth. Compassion, peace, understanding, forgiveness. Everything we need is right within. The motto for Science of Mind is change your thinking, change your life. And when those perceived challenges come up, when we seem to be struggling a little more than usual, remind yourself to simply turn to Spirit. To allow God to do what God does. Step forward in faith with the understanding that I can, I will. I have everything I need right within. Right within to get back up and do better each time life knocks us down, puts us off our path. Know the truth of yourself, of those around you, that we are unique individual expressions of the one. And when we stay in oneness with Spirit, we stay in oneness with all. And the challenging times become a little more easy. Move along a little faster. And we step forward. So today, open your heart and your mind and give thanks for the abundance of blessings that not only surround you, but saturate each and every soul, cell. Say thank you for all the little things that never get thought about. Gravity that keeps us right here on this planet. And all the things that take place to allow that gravity to do that. Each cell in your being has a job and it's doing it. All these little miracles that we overlook day in and day out. So much to be thankful for. So this day opens the door. How are you going to make it great? How are you going to have an awesome day and help others do the same? Let us step forward in our best. Open our hearts, our arms, our minds, and say yes to life. We release this truth into action by simply saying together.
So it is.
privilege to have our senior minister. Forward up, Reverend Sue Witter.
Do you think after a year of being a minister out of ministerial school, and what, maybe 6 months with this, you'd think I'd be used to it by now, but it still makes me go, every time you hear it.
Us
So,
too.
So welcome everyone. It's really nice to see such a big group in the room today. And I want to start with some sort of business to go over because I'm really excited that there are a lot of things happening right now. I want to start with thanking, so we have one member who gave us $1,000 to help us begin to fix our technology and digital presence issues. And so thank you for that. And I've already spent it. And if I couldn't have figured it out last night, we'd have had a different camera rolling. But I didn't figure it out, so I'm going to have some help. But what has happened is we have gotten, I looked at things and I said we have a long-term fix and we have a immediate fix. And so I first focused on the immediate fixes. And I laughed. I've been working with the West Valley. Thank you, West Valley Center for Spiritual Living Tech team. They have been gracious and kind and patient. And last Sunday, I thought I had it all figured out because I met with them and I had the new camera that I bought and the new computer that we got and all these things and then the new soundboard. The sound team had one of the members had they're professional musicians, so they had a little soundboard at home that they weren't using. And they said, here, just take this until you can figure out what you need to buy. And so we hooked it all up and it was all working. And I got here and I had to call a couple people going, I flunked the lesson that you gave me on Sunday because I haven't been able to figure out how to do it here. So Bill graciously volunteered, his son-in-law. Bill graciously volunteers for so many things, thank you, to come and help try to set it up. But I'm excited that we will have a new laptop, a new webcam, a new soundboard. We're looking at then how best to have the lighting point so that it's a nice, clean look. And Microsoft has a donation program for not-for-profit organizations where you can get the entire Office suite for very, very little funds. So that is in the works as well. And we have the opportunity to have our website restructured by a company that specializes in church, helping churches grow and develop. And they basically giving away thousands of dollars worth of work. So I'll talk to the board about that today to see if everybody's okay with venturing down that avenue. And then we have a long-term plan because everything that I mentioned thus far other than the website and the Microsoft suite is really short-term. So we'll be filing. I have a friend who I went to ministerial school with who works with churches all over the country, and she's going to help us file a grant application with the Hefferland Foundation for their technology track so that we will be able to get some really lovely high-tech equipment without having it rob our breath at its cost. Because when I first started doing the research, I've gone down a rabbit hole that's terrifying of research. And I first looked at the price of some of the cameras and I went, someone get those crash paddles? I don't think that this can be the right cost, but it is. But anyway, all of that will be taken care of. So I want you to know that there's a lot of fun things going on. There's a lot of change that's happening. I really believe it's all for the good. And it will give us some good opportunities. And then there are some things that we're going to be talking about. So one of the things I've promised is that I'll figure out a way to get classes here. And so we'll start that probably after the first of the year to have some on site. But in the meantime, I will tell you about every center. I get posts from all the ministers all over the country on a website that tells when someone is teaching a virtual class. So coming up at West Valley Center for Spiritual Living with my dear friend Reverend Clyde Goins, there is Deepak Chopra's 7 spiritual laws of success, and that's going to start next week. And then there's a church in Laguna Niguel that is teaching a class called Busting Loose from the Money Game. It's a great prosperity class. I've taken it in the past, so if that's something you want to tackle, it's a great. I can give you the information on it. There's a Roots of Science of Mind class being taught by Vision Church in San Diego, and Reverend Marcus, who has now gotten a good job with them, and so he's not coming back anymore. Sorry. I know, it made me very sad. But good for him to have a new position with Vision. But they're having the Roots class. And then we have there's a book study from the West Valley Center for Spiritual Living that meets every Wednesday night. It's free, it's on Zoom, and they are going through literally page by page of Living the Science of Mind. And so it doesn't matter if you haven't come to any of them thus far, it's just looking at whatever the little segment is for that book for that night. And it's great. He actually went through the entire Science of Mind textbook. I think it took 4 years.
Wow.
And now they're working their way through Living the Science of Mind. So that is in I think it's on our website, the link.
It is. And it's in our September.
And it's in the September flyer back there.
Oh.
And the flyer for Clyde's class is on the table as well. And Dawn's already signed up. Yay! So I'm trying to make sure that we get as many opportunities to everybody as we can. And so just be open to whatever Spirit leads you to do. And if you hear of something, please tell me, because one thing I'm going to start when I come back at the end of September is Coffee with the Minister. And that is, I will be here whatever weeks I'm here. I will just be here for an hour, hour and a half in the morning, and then another day in the evening. And I was going to do the spot on spiritual practice, but I got so caught up in technology that I didn't get it done. But I will also do a little spiritual practice class once a week, also in the morning and one in the evening. So we're really trying to see what kind of fun we can have and what kind of good things we can have going on. So that's my updates for you, with a ton of other things that I'll do. We have a board meeting today. Yeah?
Question. You said about a new sound thing.
Yeah?
Does that help improve
Yes.
if you watch it at home?
Yes, that's its whole purpose.
Oh, hallelujah.
Yeah. Because we do okay in here.
Oh,
But-
yeah, but
but
at home it doesn't
At
work.
home, it doesn't work.
No.
And as a result, the gift.
Thank you.
So thank you. But no, that's the whole goal, is to make the online experience cleaner and easier to hear and easier to see. And there's also a piece of software that we're going to put in together so that when we show something up on the screen, it will be visible online, as opposed to, so it's like it's all the pieces that will be visible. So
Thank you.
that's the plan, and thank you
You're welcome.
for getting our ball rolling. So now I'm going to have to talk really, really fast because it took way too long going over all that. But I'm really excited. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited for the fact that there's a lot of opportunity for us, and for things like the virtual classes. If you know about them, as I read through the minister's listserv, I was like, well, why am I not promoting all these? I don't know, Sue, why aren't you? So here we go. So anyway, just keep your ear to the ground and look at the website and be willing to, to just open your heart. And if it looks like it's something you might enjoy, give it a try, because why not? Anyway, here we go. So the theme for this year for the Centers for Spiritual Living is Rising Higher, Growing Deeper. And we always have at the West Valley, and I said this to June the other day on the phone, I think, there's a good news and bad news with having me as your minister. The good news is that I bring with me a lot of connections to a lot of other people. The bad news is that it also then will bring all kinds of people that you may not necessarily ever meet in person, but who will be a part of our life. So Reverend Clyde Goings is the assistant minister at West Valley. He's the one teaching the class and doing the Wednesday night service. And for me, it's a great joy. We always have a theme there as well, and I've decided I'm going to try, if it feels right, like it would be something that will fit with us. There's a good synergy if you have more than one center sort of focusing on the same thing. So we have a new prayer request box. Thank you to Reverend Tracy Herrick. She gave it to us. And it has an opportunity for both prayer requests and gratitude or praise for thank you. So that if you want to have thank you, you can put it in there, or a prayer request. But I talked to both Tracy and Reverend Karen, my senior minister at West Valley. When prayer requests come in for any of us, we are going to begin to share them with one another so that there's more people and more juice behind your prayers. And our theme at the West Valley this year is rooted, and it's about having a good, strong root system underneath us that allows us to grow and become the soul that we are meant to be. And the quote that we have for that is, spirituality is like roots of a tree. The deeper the roots, the stronger the tree. Carl Jung. So that's what we have. That's the theme for the year. And the theme, so the Centers for Spiritual Living has a theme that they have for each month as well. And this time, it's transcendent purpose. And I will tell you, this it's not an episode, what are they called? Issue of the Science of Mind magazine is really, really extraordinary. And they are having a push to sell more subscriptions so that they can keep the magazine afloat. And they have it now so that you get one magazine for 2 months. This side is 1 month, and then you flip it over this way, turn it upside down, and it's the second month. So it makes it a little easier to figure out which month you're in. But this month on Transcendent Purpose is really, really extraordinary. And so I've offered to get a couple of subscriptions here for the center if you wanted to buy just a magazine at a time rather than subscribe. So anyway, it's got a lot of really great things, and in it talks about having a transcendent purpose which nurtures our passion and blends naturally with our individual purpose. It's the intersection of the divine and the worldly purposes. And worldly purposes are things that are very tangible. What are my skill sets? What gifts do I have to bring? What problems do I know how to solve, or what kind of an impact can I make? What would I do if I had unlimited resources? Those kinds of questions, because they have to do with the moment, with the here and now, with the details of our life. But Parker Palmer, who's one of my favorite authors, is a Quaker, and he has a book called Let Your Life Speak. And I've used this question more times than I can count, probably. But he says to us, frequently we ask the wrong questions. The question is not, what should I or shouldn't I have been or done? The question is, have I been faithful to my values? Is the life I'm living the same life that wants to be lived in me? And when I begin to look at that from a bigger perspective, and then spiritual paradox is such an important part, where opposite things that don't seem to make any sense really are both true at the same time. And then his next quote is, but before you tell your life what you intend to do with it, listen for what it intends to do with you. Before you tell your life what truths and values you've decided to live up to, let your life tell you what truths you embody and what values you represent. And for me, looking at our values is so important, because that's kind of what drives the bus. So in discovering that more transcendent purpose, you begin to look at your core values and your passions and what it takes you to grow meaningfully and contribute. What do you want to be remembered for, or what are you willing to make a commitment to? What is seeking to emerge in my life is one of my favorite questions. I ask myself that regularly. Holmes used to say over and over, if you look through his writings and listen to the recordings of the radio show and different things, he would say, What do you believe about God today? And hopefully, if you're growing, if you're deepening, if you're expanding, that should change on a regular basis. You should, if you're, bad Sue. If you are doing some spiritual work that helps you deepen and expand and strengthen, I guarantee you that your definition of God will expand and strengthen and deepen equally. I used to spend a tremendous amount of time trying to figure it out and to define it and to put a parameter around it, until one day I realized that if the divine is infinite and this is a finite experience, everything I do to try to define it limits it. So when I look at what is seeking to emerge in my life, that's where the transcendent purpose comes up. And that in the magazine it talks about listening to deeper levels of your life, a higher calling with a sense of meaning that goes beyond circumstances, bigger, deeper, more fundamental intelligence that exceeds our own personal. And so it's a process of sort of looking at it as your soul's compass, because our soul is like the GPS on our phone, only smarter. Because I don't know about you, I was going to see June for the first time when I went to her house, and she said, don't go this way because you will get to a fence that you can't get through. And I didn't pay any attention because I'm so good at paying attention. And I got to the gate and I went, this is exactly what she told me not to do. Here I am. But that was what the GPS said. The GPS went, go here. So the GPS that is our soul's compass, that is ours inside of us, that is infallible. Even if you run into a construction zone and have to turn around, even if you don't, even if you've done something, it automatically does what your own regular GPS does. It is constantly recalculating. So if you think about it, if you have made as many wrong turns while driving down the road in strange places, actually here, because I used to come here, go to the hotel, go to a restaurant, come here, go home, or go to a restaurant and go home. So there are many places that when I'm driving around town now, I'm going, I took the wrong turn. But fortunately I have a GPS that goes now in 500 yards, make a U-turn, and do whatever, or go 2 blocks and make a left, and then make another, it's like it gets you where you're going. But the soul's compass is that with from my perspective, a kinder, more loving, more compassionate self. That it is really about having that loving divine energy that is in us and all around us all the time, constantly showing us the way if we'll allow it. And the truth is, for me, even when I work against myself, which I'd love to tell you I never do, but have on occasion been known to do, not as often anymore, it's still about finding the kindest way to get to where you're going. And I believe that is what that's where our soul's compass takes us. And to do that, it requires listening to your intuition. And so intuition is kind of an often misunderstood idea. Some people think intuition is that which tells you, don't cross the street here because you might get run down by a truck. Or it's some sort of predictor of the future that will either help you or hinder you. I believe that intuition is so much more than that. So Carolyn Mace has, I listened to on the last time I came up, both on the way up and on the way down to Phoenix, she talks about 3 types of intuition that we have. And the first one is she calls survival intuition. And that's just that part of us that is literally hardwired to look around and say, am I safe or am I not safe? Is this okay or not okay? So if you think about when you go into a room, even if it's a room like this, when you know the people and you're comfortable with the people, that there's still a part of you that does that scanning that says, good, bad, safe, not safe, should, shouldn't. That's the part of you that is indeed hardwired to make sure we stay afloat. And she talks about that's the gut. You know, people talk about I'm just following my gut. And she talks about how if we are not looking at things from the highest possible way, that gut can lead us astray because it's response from a fearful place, as opposed to saying, yes, there is potential here, you should look, but you don't necessarily have to respond with fear. And then she talks about the second level of intuition is creative intuition. And she described it as it's like getting a download from the divine. And frequently it's not even really clear what that download is. And so there's kind of a, what do I do with this now? And in one of her talks, Carolyn said, and I've said this a lot too, how do I know the difference between my good idea and God's good idea for me? When it's God's good idea for me, it almost always includes, are you kidding me? Because God will always have a bigger, brighter, better, happier version than we often will give ourselves. So that creative intuition, she actually referred to as a pregnant intuition. Because sometimes, like a baby, it takes a little while to make its way into the world. And then finally, she talks about having a visionary intuition. And visionary intuition is that time frequently when you go, are you kidding me? I don't want to do that. That is way bigger than I can handle. She said visionary intuition is very frequently disruptive in your life. Yay, sign me up for that, right? But that it is that part of us that is where the transcendent purpose comes in. That there is this ability to see things from a bigger perspective, to see things less about the detail and more about how things can unfold in ways that we never would have imagined if we simply let go and allow ourselves to be in the flow. Ernest Holmes says, intuition is an inner awareness of spiritual truths without conscious process of thought. And in Richer Living, an interesting little book, intuition is not a product of the intellect, nor is it something which developed in the process of our evolution. It's a thing in itself. That which is instinct in the animal, blindly, unerringly leading it to food, water, shelter, becomes intuition in man, consciously perceived. So the unconscious part is that survival, but the consciously perceived part. And so for me, looking at the purpose that we hold in life, the purpose that is our soul's GPS, that's a part of the process of being able to let go of clinging. So in Buddhism, they talk about clinging as a part of what we do when we're putting too much emphasis or power on our circumstances. And so being able to step aside and say, I'm going to believe, what do you believe about God is really a good question when you're looking at how intuition flows into your life. Because if you are in that creative intuition, if you have gone past your survival intuition into creative or visionary, you've opened up your heart and your soul, and you're willing to see a picture that is bigger than the one you might create for yourself. We were having dinner last night and we talked about Gay Hendricks' book, The Big Leap, which is a great book from probably the 90s. And he talks a lot about having an upper limit where we have a certain level of good that we've learned from our family and trying to break through that to a higher level, being able to accept a higher level of good he refers to as your upper limit. And you can always break through that. And then if we aren't careful, we will automatically or unconsciously try to push ourselves back down to that place where we have a comfort zone. So this is, for me, having that transcendent purpose is the part of us that is constantly pushing to say there is more than I can see in this moment. There is a greater picture, and can I really believe that I can have it, that I deserve it, that it will be made manifest? if I simply allow it. So in the process of looking at that transcendent purpose, we have to ask ourselves, do I want to change or do I want transformation? And they're really quite different. So change is very linear. Change is something our mind can get behind. So that if you set a goal, you know that they teach you in goal setting 101, it has to be achievable. It has to be a stretch, but it has to be achievable. And it has to be measurable, and you have to have an understanding of how to get there. Well, with transformation, that's the last thing we think about. In fact, if anything, I shouldn't know how to get there. I should be willing to open to something bigger than I can even imagine. A man named Martin Heidegger, a German philosopher, talks about the fact that we make a clearing, that when we clean up those aspects of our consciousness and let go of things that no longer serve us, that it creates this clearing so that there's room for the infinite to bring about things that we would never have imagined, and wouldn't have even thought about. So linear change is like 0 to 20%. And then nowadays in science, they talk about quantum change, which is like 1,000%. And so for me, I know when I'm busy, as I went down the countless hours of research on cameras for churches and microphone systems for churches and soundboards and lighting, and every once in a while my husband would come and go, "Are you in there? Do we need to throw in food and water for you?" But that's a very, very bound by conditions. That's a very linear change. Whereas when I stopped and opened up and said, do I believe that I'm in the right place at the right time doing the right thing? Do I believe that this is the place for me to be right now? And am I willing to believe that there is a good that is far, far, far greater than I can imagine, that you can imagine, that any of us can imagine, that our job is to just keep opening and opening and opening, to say our job is to set this big general intention and then allow the universe to let it flow to us, to move through us. And then the hard part, to listen and to act. So one of the things that makes me very unpopular with people, at church especially, is when they come to me and they go, I have this great idea. The church needs to do A, B, C, D, and E. And my response is, thank you. How great is that? Thank you for volunteering to manage that. And frequently they'll go, oh, I didn't volunteer to manage that. So this is a lesson. Just know that if you come to me with one of those ideas, this is what you're going to get. Thank you. Thank you, because you could not have this crystal clear idea of how something should be unless it's yours to do. And some people clap their hands and go, really, you'll let me do that? Great. And other people go, oh no, I want you to do it. I want you to figure out who should do it. I'm just going to tell you what I think you should do. And so it's about listening and then being willing to act. Being willing to take something. And so if you have a good idea and it's not something you want to do anything about, I'm not saying don't tell me, but to be real clear that it's just this notion that you have as opposed to something that is tied to your worldly purpose. Because I believe that when we get good ideas, that while the church would be served by your activities, by your participation, I guarantee you that you will be served at a higher level. And it took me a long time to figure that out. But it's that linear change versus quantum change. Quantum change is that huge space, that clearing that we create so that the divine can give us an answer. So for years, I took a series of classes called Mastering the Impossible. And they talked about what's possible versus what's transformational. In the possible realm, we try to play it safe, right? We're constantly looking and going, You know, I could get in a lot of trouble here. And for me, that's probably sometimes a good question to ask, but it's still play it safe, or transformational is risk and willing not to know. For a control freak like me, being willing not to know was some of the hardest lessons I've had to learn. To say, if I'm willing not to know, then there's a possibility that something greater than I could have imagined will appear. There's a song called Go Without Knowing. It's a beautiful song that talks about that. If I could just go without knowing, do without doubting, how good life would be. So that's playing it safe with incremental change versus transformation. So in the possible world, we care how we look. And in the transformational world, we are less worried about how we look and more that whatever it is we're doing touches our soul, feeds us, and in some way makes us happy, in some way brings us joy, in some way brings a feeling of contentment. And I used to think when I first started this work, when someone said that brings you a sense of contentment, I actually said to someone once, that's a really low bar. You just want to be content? There's more than that. Now I have come to realize and so appreciate contentment. It's not less than. It's just a quiet space that allows you to be okay with where you are while the next thing is making its way in. So for years, West Valley needed to have its building painted. And that is a lot of money. It's a big building. And people would say, this was like when Reverend Karen first got there, people was like, when are you going to paint the building? When are you going to paint the building? It was like the constant battle cry. Until one day she said, stop. Here's what we're going to do. Nothing changes until you love what you have and where you are. So we have to figure out how to love this building with its peeling paint, with whatever might be working or not working, the air conditioners that Tracy Herrick's husband Bill used to come and put together with spit, chewing gum, and a little duct tape over and over and over. That you need to love all of that right where it is. And so that's my ask for you, to love everything about this center right where it is. And so Karen said, and this was in the middle of summer, it took a lot of guts. In the middle of summer, she said, we are all going to get together on this day at 7 o'clock at night, or 8, it was just getting dark. And we are going to pray on this building. We are going to walk around this building and love this building. And that was shortly before COVID hit. And in COVID, we had a contractor who said, I need to keep my people working. I will cut my bid by 35%.
Wow.
And we said, would you cut it by 40? And he said yes. And so in the midst of all of that, the building was painted. And so it's a process of knowing that it's not my job to figure out how. It's my job to open my heart. It's my job to have high intentions. It's my job to see the what from a very broad picture, from very big brushstrokes, and let the how unfold. And then again, it becomes my job to listen and act. Quickly to go through the other aspects of incremental versus transformational change. We want to stay comfortable. We want to not fail. We want to justify who we are and hide our flaws. A lot of should, shouldn't, and expectations. We have everything mean something, and we think it means something about us. It usually doesn't. There was a great woman in Al-Anon who said something that has stayed with me for over 40 years. She said, we all spend so much time worrying about what other people think of us. The fact of the matter is, they rarely do. And I added, and when they do think of us, it's usually, what do you think about me? Anyway, we always have meaning that we make, and we frequently just think it's never enough and we're never enough. But on a transformational side, we know, rather than staying comfortable, that we just risk and do it, and we can live in the unknown, and we know that failing doesn't matter, that we live for joy and happiness and things that touch our heart, that we don't really worry about shame. We just allow ourselves to be okay. And that everything is possible, that meaning doesn't matter. It's always enough. So it's about saying, am I willing to open my heart and my mind to look past the predictable, the manageable, the identifiable? I'm not saying ignore all those things, those are there. But there's a bigger picture that when we put our focus on that bigger picture, those little details, the how, absolutely unfolds with a sense of grace and ease. And if you think about the fact that there are so many things in our world that we used to think were impossible, that now are humorous. So they used to think that if you ran a 4-minute mile, that was a pretty good guarantee that you'd die of a heart attack right there on the ground as you hit a 4-minute mile. Now, if you watch the Summer Olympics, 4-minute mile, it's like lazy bugger. You are obviously not training hard enough. And so it was just completely shattered. And the Wright brothers, and flight, it wasn't the highly funded Pierpont and his research group that were out to master flight. It was the guys who owned the bike shop, who would go out into the field and with all the extra parts they had, and they would go home when all the parts were broken or it got dark. But they were the ones that figured it out. And Pierpont, the minute he found out that the Wright brothers had done it, he packed his bags and went home, because he was all about making himself look good. He wanted to be the guy that figured it out. And so it's really looking, at so many different things. If you think back to when Kennedy announced that we were going to put a man on the moon, and everybody thought, what a fool he was. There were a whole group of such naysayers. And, it's amazing what happens. And my last little example of the bigger beliefs. So, y'all, I'm sure, have heard me tell the manure story. But in about 1912 was a time when horses did everything. People rode horses, they rode in carriages, all the things were delivered, and there was a crisis of horse manure. Cities could not get rid of the horse manure fast enough. And horses would die in the street, and they didn't know what to do, so they would leave them there. It was a disease-ridden mess. And the first environmental conference took place, and people came from all over the world, and it was supposed to last, I think, a week or 10 days or something, and it lasted like 3 days, because they all went away going, we got nothing. We got nothing. This is unsurmountable. It is unfixable, unchangeable. We are out of luck. You want to know what happened?
Yes.
Henry Ford. Henry Ford and the combustion engine. And all of a sudden, horses weren't as necessary, and therefore less horse poop, and it all began to work out. Now, we look at the combustion engine, and go, it's the source of, a huge source of our trouble. Just like with the horse manure crisis, I think it's on us to say, there's an answer out there that we can't even imagine today. And that's true with our life. If there's something going on, there's an answer we can't even imagine today. Am I willing to allow that to take place? Am I willing to see that I don't have to have it all figured out? And if you are like me, that is a tall request. But you can do it. I promise I have more hours out of more days, and more days out of more weeks, and more weeks out of more months, where I don't fight that anymore. I can't promise you that I don't do it, but I don't do it often, and it doesn't last as long. I catch myself much faster. So the passion that you bring to it is so important. Confucius says, wherever you go, go with all your heart. It's a pretty simple way to look at things. And Disney, when you believe in it, you believe in it all the way, implicitly and unquestionably. Neil Donald Walsh says, you will see that it is who you've been, not what you've done, that matters to your soul. And you will see that it is your soul that is who you are. So remember that we are absolutely this divine expression that is waiting to be made manifest, that is waiting to be allowed to expand and strengthen and deepen and grow. And it doesn't necessarily, for a long time I thought, well, I should be doing something big. I should be doing something great. Just being me is something big and great for me to do. Whether it's something really basic, like being with my dog and being kind and loving and compassionate with people around me. A tall order some days, but it can be the simplest of things to allow yourself the notion that says my purpose, my higher purpose, is really calling me. It is calling me and asking to just allow that divine unfolding to be made evident, which requires that we listen and then we act. Well, thank you very much. I did pretty good. It's not yet 11 o'clock. And if you have a chance to pick this one up, please do. It's a great magazine issue, and you can get it digitally online. I tend to get, I actually got a subscription for both the paper copy and the digital copy. But it's a worthwhile purchase in my opinion. So I think that's it for this moment in time. So if you will, just get ready, take a deep breath, close your eyes, and go within. Put your hands on your heart, and just allow yourself to feel your heartbeat, to feel the energy of life in your heart, to feel the energy of the divine moving to you and through you, functioning in you and as you. And just know that our job really is to just soften our heart, to remember that soul's compass is unerring. It doesn't always make sense, but it is unerring. And there are times when it's okay to say, God, I need a burning bush. I need bright arrows and flashing lights so that I know where to go, what my next step is. It's okay in our heart and our soul to simply make that request. And I know that as we go forward, we do so with an understanding that there is indeed infinite possibility that is beyond my imagining, that it is beyond my understanding, and that it's not my job to figure it all out. It's my job to go, to listen, and then to wait for the next arrow, the next direction. And when you get to that spot, you stop and listen again. And when that next prompting comes, to shift again. And it doesn't have to be more complex or complicated than that. This is an infinite divine energy coming into this finite expression. And so allowing that infinite to imagine and to bring in something that we couldn't even conceive of brings a sense of wonder and awe and joy when it begins to show up. So I know that as we go forward this week, we do so with a sense of excitement, enthusiasm, and expectancy of good and more good coming to us in ways that are known and unknown. And it is not our job to dictate where the good comes from. It's simply about allowing the good to appear. So I give thanks for each and every person here. I give thanks for each and every person listening online, and for everyone who will watch after the fact. And I know that as we go forward, we do so with a sense of excitement, enthusiasm, expectancy, that this good, this infinite possibility is simply bursting at the seams of our life, waiting for us to simply say yes. So I give thanks for that yes, knowing that each and every one of us has the ability to see linear change, to use it where necessary, but to step past that into transformational change, to allow that divine energy to create beyond the beyond. So I give thanks. I release this out into the law, knowing that the universe has already said yes. So it is. So thank you all very, very much. The song today is one of my favorite Daniel Nahmod songs. It's called My Soul is Welcome Here. Only what? So in October, probably near the end of October, I'm waiting for a lot of the snowbirds to return. We will look at music. in every church, the first thing that people said to me when I was announced the senior minister was, can we make changes to the music? And I said to them, yes, we will eventually, and no one will be happy, because by nature, some of us happy and some of us not. But at the end of October, I'm gonna plan some activities where we have the opportunity to look at music and make some choices. But I will tell you, that one is one that a lot of centers use as their opening song. Not that I'm saying we should, I'm saying it probably, however, will be in the mix as an option.
Reverend Sue Witter. If you'll take your gift and or tithe in hand and repeat after me. Divine love through me.
Divine love through me.
Blessed is the multiplier.
Blessed is the multiplier.
All that I have.
All that I have.
And all that I give.
And all that I give.
And all that I receive.
And all that I receive.
And so it is.
So it is.
All right, these gifts come forward and we say thank you once again for the abundance of blessings that move in and through this center, back out into this community, this nation, and this world, and so it is.
And so it is.
All right. We've been doing a great job of filling up the jar in back for Christmas time, so don't forget to put your loose change there, because your change changes someone else's life right around Christmas time when it's most needed. Pay it forward basket in the middle room gets filled with those things that cannot spoil. And it doesn't matter if it's food, combs, shaving kits, whatever it is. We take that to the food bank here in town and they get it out to those who need it. So that kind of giving needs to continue, because you guys do an amazing job with that.
Yeah.
I think Sue covered pretty much everything else. So let's stand, make a circle, and sing a peace song.
Not quite yet.
Don't rush it, Joe. Don't rush it.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator, family all are we. Yes, we live with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my sacred vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
It's happening in my mind.
It's happening in my mind.
It's happening in my body.
It's happening in my body.
It's happening in my affairs.
It's happening in my affairs.
I claim it.
I claim it.
I feel it.
I feel it.
I believe it.
I believe it.
I accept it.
I accept it.
So it is.
So it is.
Have a great week, everybody.
Tony, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mama.
There was-
Thank
wait,
you,
what was
note.
it?
I can't wait to read it.
Oh, good. good.
Yeah,
When you're down?
excited.
We're gonna try to. Yeah.
You know, so we said what, said,
Are you from here?
Yes. I'm not sure the other area much. Jamaican and McCullough.
I'm hearing talking. Oh, here, look.
I've been arrested in
That's my sister.
Oh, really?
I started coming around the
Krista?
Anatomy.
Oh, wow. God, you guys are all in that whole movie thing, Barbara.
Fabulous.
Show